Hello, testing, testing. Coming up today. Okay.
Yeah, see, that's why I can't referendum anything.
Got them back to back.
Boom, boom. Coming up today, Trinity ice cream machine is back.
And drones fly over San Antonio for FIESTA.
All this and more right now on Newswave.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. Welcome to the last show of Newswave for this academic year. Today is Friday, April 28th. I'm Luke McCauley.
And I'm Cole Isaacson.
This year, Trinity's Residential Life Office updated the housing application process for the 2023 to 2024 academic year. Now that the school year is winding down, it is time to evaluate these changes and whether any improvements remain unmade. RESLIFE inverted the housing process from last year, sending students their housing selection time before decisions were made about their roommates and suite mates. These selection times were randomly generated so that students without a full suite would not be disadvantaged when it came to room selection. Additionally, this year, the waitlist opened for preferably dorms early in the selection process, which indicated to RESLIFE which dorms were highly sought after. The results came back clear as day, that demand for rooms in City Vista was high and supply was low. CV contains 400 spaces for students and was sought after by nearly 800 upperclassmen. The waitlist of roughly 200 people is clogged with students requesting space in CV. Although changes were aimed to simplify the housing process, many students feel that their needs were unmet. The Trinitonian interviewed junior English major Emma Utzinger, and she described the issues that arose in this year's housing process. Utzinger's suite of 4 people was busted up due to technical difficulties, and she feels that, quote, "We didn't even have a chance to pick a room because everything was just so scrambled up." Utzinger isn't alone in her distress, and students frantically refreshed their housing portals and were often left to make tough decisions on whether room choice or roommate choice was more important to them. Although RESLIFE has taken strides to improve the housing selection process, the jury of public opinion has returned that Trinity has much to fix before its housing problems are solved.
Trinity has finally installed a new ice cream machine in Mabee Dining Hall after its predecessor was out of order for several years. After several unsuccessful attempts to fix it, Aramark decided it would be a better investment to purchase a brand new machine. Trinity University has purchased a new machine that has a capital investment to avoid future delays in fixing it. The new university-owned machine was installed on April 6th and will remain in Mabee during the transition from Aramark to Chartwells. Ella Charbonnet, a sophomore marketing major and SGA senator, was one of the driving forces behind the new machine's installation. She has been campaigning for its replacement for the past 2 years and has been communicating with Charles Robles, the former head of dining services on campus, to seal the deal. Charbonnet saw it as a small but one of many important initiatives to improve student life, such as the installation of menstrual product dispensers. The new ice cream machine is not only an exciting addition for students, but is also a versatile one. Yancey DeLeon, a first-year business analytics and technology major, expressed his excitement about the convenience of having an ice cream machine on campus and the ability to make desserts like cookies and brownies with ice cream on top. Robles, along with Demi Brown, Dean of Students, and Danny Nguyen, the student body president, and our executive producer, wanted the installation of the machine to be a surprise for Charbonnet. So they named the station Ella's Ice Cream to recognize her dedication and persistence in her fight for student quality of life. Nguyen encourages the students to voice their concerns for suggestions to Trinity's dining services and to improve the overall dining experience on campus. Charbonnet's success in the installation of ice cream machines demonstrates that the influence of student government can have in improving the university life.
This fall, new changes are coming to Mabee Dining Hall. Earlier this year, Trinity forged a new partnership with Chartwell's Higher Education Dining Services for this upcoming school year. On April 11th, Trinity provided more information about the transformation of Maybe. The new changes are focused on improving food quality, innovation, and sustainability in campus dining. For starters, with Chartwell's, there will be more of a culinary approach to food, where recipes are diverse, made from scratch, even customizable to students. Secondly, there will be new technology introduced called sous vide kitchen, where students can order ahead of time, selecting from 12 different cuisines to pick up and enjoy. Lastly, Trinity is partnering up with a composting service and program Eco2Go, along with bringing in more locally owned restaurants in San Antonio to reduce food waste. Bruce Bravo, Director of Conferences and Special Programs, explains his excitement for this shift, saying, quote, "The Trinity Dining Programs reflects a new philosophical approach where Chartwell's is supporting the university's dining operation. Trinity is in control of the program and its outcomes," end quote. This new program is aimed to not only provide changes to the food services, but ensure students, staff, and employees are successful. If you have any questions or concerns with the Trinity Dining Program, we will solicit ongoing feedback and questions. We hope you are all excited for this new program as much as we are here at Newswave.
It's time for finals, and our executive producer, Danny Nguyen, went to talk to students last year during midterm season. Listen to what tips they might have for you in the next few weeks of exams.
Midterm season is finally here, and to many students, it can be a pretty stressful time. From juggling exams and papers to just everyday tasks to deal with, it is important to be prepared for anything and everything. I asked some Tigers around campus to see if they had any tips and tricks for students during this time.
I would say during midterm season, you should definitely take time for yourself, take care of yourself during midterms because a lot of people forget to do that. So study, but also take care of yourself.
For midterms, I would honestly just try my best to form study groups and start studying as early as possible. Personally, I like separating the content and breaking it down based on whatever you learned and just study little by little over a certain period of time so you're not cramming in the end. And yeah.
Definitely for midterms, I would say don't procrastinate. It's important to take a brain break and just walk around, get some coffee, and make sure to email your professors if you have any question, and I would say also attend office hours.
Remember, it is important to study efficiently and to also take care of yourself during the stressful season. From all of us at Newswave and TigerTV, good luck on your midterms and stay positive. This is Danny Nguyen, Newswave 14, reporting.
As summer approaches, it's good to find more ways to be outside. The Trinity Community Garden is located next to Storch Memorial Building and provides students with an opportunity to be outside and enjoy some fresh vegetables. The garden is home to an array of vegetables, including squash, kale, arugula, and green beans, as well as picnic tables for students to enjoy the space. The garden is managed by the Gardening Club and the students of Biology 2191, Gardening in South Texas, a lower division biology course. While speaking on the course's purpose, Professor Stephen Luck said, quote, "We want to help people achieve food security and food sovereignty by teaching them how to grow their own food." So these are three pretty big goals we're implementing into the students through teaching and action. The garden is meant for everyone, and so are the vegetables. As Grace Johannes, a member of Biology 2191, puts it, quote, "We have a lot of kale. So if anybody wants kale or wants to try any of our food, it's always an open invitation." Still, coming up, SPACEX had a failed rocket launch.
And Texas passes a bill around the 10 Commandments.
All after the break.
All right, I know this isn't any fun to talk about, but we should. Okay, So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice.
And I'll try to get the generator going without any gas.
Oh, let's not forget the cell phones, which probably won't work.
Right.
And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
Well, I think we couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Welcome back. It is early voting season here in San Antonio. As voters weigh in on who will represent them on the highly contentious Prop A, the proposition covers a variety of rather controversial items such as marijuana use, abortion, and the cite and release. With exceptions today and Sunday, April 30th, citizens of Bexar County, citizens of Bexar County who registered to vote can vote early in any of the 42 voting locations until May 2nd. Students who are curious about these polling locations, please visit ksat.com. And for anyone who does not decide to vote early, Election Day is Saturday, May 6th.
With the school year winding down, Texas students may begin to see the 10 Commandments posted inside all of their classes when they return next fall. This week, Texan Republican senators showed their support of a proposal forcing Texan public schools to have the 10 Commandments posted inside their classrooms. This follows another Texas bill approved this past Thursday that would require educational establishments to dedicate time towards reading the Bible. Other religious manuscripts, or for prayer, Bill King, a Republican Texan state senator, said, quote, "It will remind students all across Texas of the importance of the fundamental foundation of America," end quote. This comes after Texan Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has described himself as a, quote, "Christian first, conservative second, and Republican third." While the push to promote religion in public schools has gotten stronger, opponents of these bills have voiced their concerns. John Litzer, Director of Public Policy at Texas Baptist Christian Life Commissioner, said, quote, "I should have the right to introduce my daughter to the concepts of adultery and coveting one's spouse. It shouldn't be one of the first things she learns in the classroom."
On Monday, Texas legislators swiftly commented on the firing of Tucker Carlson, a controversial primetime television host by Fox News. Their responses varied widely, but Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick's right-wing fervor to Democratic Texas Representative Diego Bernal's dismissive farewell. In a statement on Monday, Fox announced that its top-rated primetime personality, the host of Tucker Carlson Tonight, had agreed to leave, but it doesn't seem to have been prearranged, as Carlson had informed his audience on Friday that he would be back the following week. According to a source familiar with the matter who spoke with Axios on Monday, the reason for Carlson's departure remains unclear. Despite speculation to the contrary, the source asserted that the firing was not a direct result of the $787.5 million defamation settlement that Fox News reached with the Dominion voting systems last week. Nevertheless, San Antonio lawmakers did not hesitate to voice their opinions about the matter before any official reason for Carlson's departure had been made public. Former San Antonio Mayor Julian Castro offered a contrasting perspective on Tucker Carlson and Fox News. According to Castro, he did not initially expect Carlson to perform as well as his predecessor, Bill O'Reilly, in terms of ratings. However, Carlson managed to succeed due to Fox News' existing audience rather than his own broadcasting skills. Castro expressed concern that Fox News would have little difficulty finding another propaganda star to fill Carlson's primetime slot.
With San Antonio's FIESTA kicking off last week, you may have seen an increase in air traffic. This year, the San Antonio Police Department has been utilizing drones to assist in traffic control and crowd overwatch throughout the 10-day event. The program was started in 2018, and since then has become an integral part of their public safety operations. Drones have seen use in a number of situations, both indoor and outdoor, and have been gradually begun to replace police helicopters. At the moment, the SAPD has 12 drones currently in use, but this number could rise. The main purpose for the drones at this year's Fiesta is to provide crowd overwatch and traffic control, which are critical to keeping citizens safe as they enjoy the festives this year. Up ahead,
the United States evacuates ambassadors from Sudan.
And then sports from Kayla.
We'll be right back.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help.
You were probably going to turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home.
I blew on him.
You're good, you got this, Q.
Several countries, including the US, UK, France, Germany, Italy, and Spain, have evacuated their citizens and diplomats from Sudan's capital, Khartoum, due to ongoing violence between the regular army and the powerful parliamentary force. The U.S. Embassy in Khartoum has been closed, and the U.S. government airlifted fewer than 100 people using 3 Chinook helicopters in a fast and clean operation. The UK government also managed to evacuate British diplomats from their families, but operations to evacuate the remaining British nationals in Sudan are severely limited. More than 1,000 European Union citizens have been taken out of Sudan, according to an update from the EU's foreign policy chief. The situation in Sudan remains fluid, and news outlets will continue to provide updates as they become available.
This past Saturday, April 22nd, Earth Day celebrations worldwide demonstrated support for environmental protection. While it is important to be aware of detrimental behavior, we here at Newswave want to celebrate this Earth Day by looking at some of the positive environmental developments since last year. Developments in the utility of solar powers have made massive leaps, with the invention of solar powers that can be placed on railroad tracks and float on reservoirs, all which are promoting a more feasible green Earth. On another note, countries around the world are making profound steps towards building a more environmentally friendly culture in their country. In Spain, the government is making tobacco companies pay to clean up cigarettes off the streets. Hong Kong has implemented a task force on nature-related financial disclosure. Norway opened up the world's longest purpose-built bike and pedestrian tunnel. In Scotland, promoted a plant-based diet to fight against climate change. We spent a lot of time this past year at Newswave investigating environmental scandals and grim climate change statistics. So we want to affirm that hope and progress are possible when it comes to preserving our planet.
Last Thursday, April 29th, SPACEX launched its new Starship rocket. Sadly, before the shuttle could escape the Earth's atmosphere, it suffered an engine malfunction and exploded. Despite the imagery of a fiery disaster, SpaceX CEO Elon Musk pronounced the launch as a success. Experts in aerospace engineering agreed that the explosion was not a setback and instead would generate quicker development into similar technologies. SpaceX and Musk have taken to heart the practice that makes perfect business model, and according to Reuters.com, have deemed the explosion a, quote, successful failure. Anticipating the explosion, the shuttle launch was designed to minimize loss of human life and property damage. The shuttle was initially crewless, so no lives were lost in the explosion. Additionally, the rocket exploded over the Gulf Coast Starbase facility in South Texas to reduce the risk of property damages and possible injuries from falling debris. According to Garrett Reisman, the astronautical engineering professor at USC and former NASA astronaut, rockets can cost a lot of money, but what really costs a lot of money are people's salaries. SpaceX believes that by taking risks and making improvements as they arise, the company will generate success more quickly than if they invest in a large team of workers to perfect models before they are tested. Despite the nerve-wracking imagery of the upper atmospheric explosions, scientists agree that failures will only serve to increase the rapid pace of SpaceX's space travel program. Planetary scientist Tanya Harrison said, quote, it wouldn't surprise me if we had humans on Mars with SpaceX in the next decade. President Joe Biden earlier this week announced his bid for re-election as President of the United States. Our friends at CNN have more details. Take a look.
President Joe Biden's fourth and final White House bid is underway.
The question we're facing is whether in the years ahead we have more freedom or less freedom, more rights or fewer. I know what I want the answer to be, and I think you do too.
A source familiar with Biden's plan says TV ads will start airing Wednesday in key battleground states, including Arizona, Georgia, and Pennsylvania.
We made a lot of progress because of all of you, but there's more to do.
While Biden received a warm reception in his first public remarks as a 2024 candidate from union allies in Washington, he's got a 41% approval rating in April from a CNN poll, which is the second lowest among all presidents at the same time in their respective administrations in 7 decades. And even some Democratic lawmakers are staying tight-lipped about Biden's bid.
Whatever announcements I'm going to make won't be done to December. On anybody.
The nation is also facing the deadline for the debt ceiling crisis, and as of now, Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy are still not on the same page.
With this president in the next 10 years, 3 of the trust funds will become insolvent. The highway, Social Security, and Medicare. We cannot sit back and ignore the problem like the president has.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The House Select Committee on China held a war game simulation on April 27, 2027. The invitation was performed to explore diplomatic, economic, and military options in the event of the United States and China reaching the brink of war over Taiwan, a self-ruled island at the Beijing claims sovereignty over. The exercise lasted one night and was observed by the Associated Press. In the game, Beijing's missiles and rockets struck Taiwan and U.S. forces as far away as Japan and Guam. Initial casualties included hundreds, possibly thousands, of U.S. troops, and Taiwanese and Chinese losses were even higher. The U.S. found itself almost entirely alone in support of Taiwan. The exercise was not about planning a war, but figuring out how to strengthen U.S. deterrence strategies to prevent a war involving the U.S., China, and Taiwan from ever happening. The U.S. doesn't formally recognize the Taiwan government, but it is Taipei's most vital provider of weapons and other security assistance. The war game was played by the Congress members on the blue team in the role of national security advisors, while experts from the Centers for a New American Security think tank played the red team. A spokesperson from the Chinese embassy said China wants peaceful reunification with Taiwan, but reserves, quote, the option of taking all necessary measures. Still ahead, your update on sports from Caleb.
We'll be back in 60 seconds.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov. Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you are really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
Welcome back, and now we'll turn it over to Caleb for sports. Caleb?
Of the season. It has been a fantastic year so far, and now it is time to get back into it for the last time. Men's and women's tennis have hit the playoffs once again, with both teams earning national rankings going into the SCAC tournament. The number 8 ranked men and number 16 ranked women are currently at Southwestern University in Georgetown, Texas at the end of year tournament, coming off of 2 massive wins last weekend. As we at the end of the year, we're seeing traditional Senior Day festivities. Both Tiger baseball and softball swept their Senior Day series, with both of them grabbing crucial victories against SCAC competition. Baseball defeated Shriner 10-0, 9-1, and 3-2 here at home, while softball defeated Dallas 3-0, 10-2, and 9-0. The last 2 games were ended after the 5th inning, while baseball played a full 9 innings in all 3 games. In professional baseball, the Texas Rangers have experienced a mixed bag as of late, getting swept in the most recent series against the Cincinnati Reds, but demolishing the Oakland and now Vegas Athletics last weekend. Despite scoring 6 runs in 2 of the 3 games against Cincinnati, they could not come away with a single win, losing 6-7, 6-7, and 3-5. The potential pain from the losses was helped by a blowout victory against Oakland. In their first series, after announcing they would be moving to Las Vegas in the coming years, the A's were decimated as the Rangers came away with an eye-watering 18-3 victory on Saturday. The Rangers now sit at a 14-10 record and are now just half a game ahead of the Houston Astros, who took a 2-1 series victory over the Tampa Bay Rays earlier this week. The Astros and Rangers play again this weekend with 2 big series coming up. Houston will play the Phillies in a rematch of last year's World Series, while Texas will play the Yankees, who have struggled so far this year. The Stars and Wild continue their incredible playoff series later tonight, with Dallas leading the series 3-2 after taking 2 massive wins in the last 3 games. After going down 2-1 in the series, Dallas won 2 straight on Sunday and Tuesday to retake the series lead. The 4-0 win in Dallas for the Stars was massive and means that the team is now just a win away from advancing and knocking the Wild out. Formula One returns to action this week, taking to the streets of Azerbaijan's capital in Baku for round 4 of the season. It is the first race in almost a month, with the grid returning to action for the first time since April 2nd. The chaotic Australian Grand Prix last time out has resulted in a lot of interesting storylines early in the season, including another victory for Max Verstappen. Fernando Alonso has gotten a podium in every race so far this season for Aston Martin and has re-emerged as one of the best drivers on the grid, but there's a long way to go before we get to the end of the year. Finally, with this being the last sports segment of the year, I just wanted to say thank you. This has been a fantastic, if a little bit stressful year, and I've been really happy to be a member of TigerTV so far this year. And I would like to thank everybody, not just back in the control room for keeping everything running smoothly, but also the anchors at the front for being amazing as always, and for all of you for watching. Until next semester, take care, stay safe, and have a fantastic summer.
And that's all the time we have for this week. Once again, thank you guys all for tuning in, and we have absolutely loved help delivering the news to you. Cole?
Yep. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and also thank you to everyone in the control room, as Caleb said. This is not possible without them. Danny Wynn, our executive producer, does a great job as always. And from everyone here at Newswave, we hope you have a safe weekend and a great summer. I'm Cole Isaacson.
And I'm Luke McCauley. We'll see you next year.